Hello everyone, and welcome back to our Christmas build in Parkitect Snowflake Summit. I've decided this is going to be a 3-part series rather than a 2-part series now, with 3 slightly shorter episodes, just because there's kind of three main areas to this park, I guess, and it just worked out a bit nicer with 3 shorter episodes. Rather than cramming too much into an episode, because this wasn't meant to be, a big series. I want to keep them nice and short so that it doesn't take up too much of everyone's time watching them, at a busy time of year. Anyway, enough of the rambling, let's talk about what we're building in this one. This is the sort of thing that I had planned all along for the park. We're building some sort of log cabin type buildings up in the mountains, maybe like what you'd see at a ski resort or something like that, but yeah, it's almost sort of North American, like Canadian or maybe Alaskan style architecture, but yeah, these sort of buildings could work in any of these sort of what's the word, biome maybe to use the Planet Zoo term. But yeah, I thought what I'll do, try and avoid using mods as much as possible in this build, so I'll make everything out of shapes. So it's basically a whole building just made from cylinders with a couple of windows chucked in as well. And I'm really happy with how this style of building come together. So what we end up doing here is really just copying the same building and changing the layout of it a bit and placing them around several times just to look like a small little sort of mountain village, I guess. And yeah, come together quite nicely, sort of how I envisioned. Like with all the buildings here, we're putting lots of snow on it. I didn't want the roof to just be white, I wanted bits of snow to look like some of it's melted. Same as what we're doing with all the buildings really. By the end of this Christmas build, I am actually fed up with placing white spears for the snow everywhere, but I feel like the build needed it. Using rocks here then for some sort of brickwork around the bottom of the building. I don't know how realistic that sort of thing is, it's just something I wanted to try. And then later on in this build you'll see that I actually use a different piece for some of the other buildings for the brick layers around the bottom, which works far better, but we'll get back to that anyway. Something that I wanted to have a go at building here then, that I was really excited to do, was building one of these water wheels. You see these typically obviously on a lot of buildings by the river and things like that. I'm not entirely sure what their purpose is, to be honest. I'm guessing that maybe the water can create power or something like that, but really here it's just to aesthetically look nice. Whether you'd get one somewhere this cold with snow or not, I'm not sure, but I felt like it fitted in the theme quite well, so that's what we go for. It was quite difficult to get the shapes all in the right place to do this, and then I realised that it wouldn't really just be poles like that all the way around, so I added in some borders to make it look like the slants that actually push the water, which we don't really have any pieces in the game that would have worked perfectly for this, but I think I give the general idea of what it's meant to be with the pieces that we use here. So yeah, I think it looks like it's supposed to, but I'll let you guys be the judge of that. Just to make it easier, I took the water out of the little lake area there, and then we put it back in once this water wheel is complete. Just details like this I really think add to your parks. It's stuff that I really like doing. And yes, it's sort of a bit of a weenie for this area, I guess. You'd see it whilst you're on the ride, whilst you're on the coaster. And yeah, I think it all fits in rather well. To be honest, this whole build is actually complete now. I have managed to finish it on time of this recording, which we're on Monday now, the 21st. We've got a few days left till Christmas, so I'm going to really try and get this one uploaded today, so that you can have the other one probably on Christmas Eve. But I'm going to do I'm not going to lie about when it's getting done. I'm going to do the commentary for that one now as well, while I've got the time to, because whether they're supposed to be or not, the family are arriving later today, so we need to get all this done. It's not to mean that I won't continue playing games over Christmas, but I'll have probably a bit less time than normal. However, in the new year I don't start my new job till the 11th of Jan, so we've got a bit of time free there to play the games and maybe try and get involved a bit with the community. I've been meaning to look into Discord for ages now, because I'm rubbish with any sort of social media, so I don't even really understand that much what it is, but it's something that I might look into getting, because I think a lot of people are involved with that in the Parkitect community, so it might be something worth looking at. But for the time being, I'll probably share the completed build up on Reddit for people to have a look at, and for you all to enjoy, and it generates a few more views, not gonna lie, it's quite handy. But yeah, it's I've really enjoyed doing this build. It's made me feel nice and festive coming up to the Christmas season, obviously. Although this isn't really that Christmassy, it's just snow everywhere, but part 3, you'll really start to see the festive vibes come into the park when we build a little Christmas village, but we'll get onto that when the time comes. So as you can see here, I'm building the more log cabins, just copying and pasting different parts and then creating different shaped buildings. At this point it almost felt a bit to me like I was back playing Age of Empires, which is a game I used to like as a kid. Age of Empires 2 I think it was my favourite one, and you'd build like a little village for civilization, so that's the type of game, and you just sort of put the houses down, and they seem to have like a little bit of variation when you placed each one, and that's just something I remember being really cool. With this one then, I'm just putting a couple of food stalls in, because we don't really have much for the guests to eat in this park. It doesn't operate very well as a theme park, to be honest. It's only got like 4 or 5 rides, but that's fine. And near the entrance I have stuck in an intense flat ride just to keep the park rating up. It doesn't really fit in that well, but later on I sort of give it Christmassy colours. But that's not an area of the park that there's going to be much focus on, where the deliveries are and stuff. So yeah, I'm not too worried about that. Here then, we've sort of completed most of that little village now, so we're working on a structure for the lift hill and the top of the lift hill. And the theming for this area I randomly had in my head. I wanted a sort of lumberjack style theme, if that makes any sense. So what we do is we build a big structure that becomes sort of part of a log cabin as well, and then we build some just a little area with some wooden planks and some like logs and stuff and tree stumps, so it looks like trees have been cut down. Place a little lumberjack in there as well. I don't know why I had this idea, but I just felt that it fit in quite nicely. But with this building, the main purpose obviously is just to cover up the horrible tunnels and stuff. So you can see here, this is the new brick technique that I come up with, just using the parts of the hedge like ends to build little bricks, and then giving them a bit of variety, sinking some of them in, giving them various different shades of grey. 50 shades of grey, in fact. Honestly, I feel like this works so much better than the rock technique, and it's exactly how I wanted it to look. So yeah, and again, this is actually kind of inspired from Planet Zoo as well. There's an Arctic DLC for Planet Zoo, which has buildings in that use a lot of pieces that look kind of like this. I know it's a completely different sort of game, but that's just sort of where I got the inspiration from, really, to build this. Not that I can play that game at the moment because it doesn't work on my PC anymore for some reason, but yeah, there's some theming in there which is really cool. And other than that, then, with this just covering up the back of the building, which you won't really see that much anyway because the coaster's there. Obviously I've hidden the attractions here. Sorry, I'm just going to sip my drink. Excuse me. I feel like my voice gets really croaky after I talk for a while in these videos, which isn't ideal, but not really a lot I could do about that, to be honest, so I do apologise if that's a bit annoying. So other than that, with the building, then just put in a set of stairs so that you could actually get into it, and then just some little details like the barrels and crates and stuff, just to give it that detailing. And then we work on the actual lift hill itself, which is a very, very simple structure, similar to what I did in the mine train actually in the Swiss area in Europa Empire, just covering it up with a canopy, really, I suppose, in case it rains or snows while the riders are on the lift hill. And yeah, it does the job. It's nothing special, but it looks fine for what we need it to. For a coaster like this, I feel like you need different bits of scenery around it and things like this just to add to it, really, to make it look complete. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything that I want to say about this build itself. I'm going to shamelessly plug my friend's music now, which is something that I never normally do in videos because I just use the YouTube royalty free music. But last year my friend released a fantastic ukulele Christmas album. His name's Scott Abercrombie. You can find the link to buy this album if you like it down in the description, or just give it a listen. We'll be banging this out on Christmas Day while we have our Christmas dinner, which I'm looking forward to. So enjoy the rest of the time lapse and the cinematic shots at the end, and I will see you just before Christmas in the third and final episode. So thank you for watching, enjoy the rest of the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.